Good evening, everybody. We'll start with today's session. So, we have started discussing about the homeopathic management of chronic diseases right from the aphorism number 206 onwards. And while discussing that, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann explained about one important thing that here you have to take into consideration all the aspects of the human life. So, ultimately, you have to find it out the fundamental cause. So, how can you find it out the fundamental cause? 7 points he has already highlighted in the fifth aphorism regarding the investigations of fundamental cause, and same are explained over here. So he explained ascertainable physical constitution. Second important thing which he has explained is the his mode of living and habits. The third one, his domestic and domestic and social relations, his occupation, his age, his intellectual character, and moral character, the sexual function. So all 7 characters are ultimately very useful in order to understand the human nature and in order to understand whether these points are the points which aggravates the patient's conditions or which have effect on the patient's condition. And these are the points which expresses through the nature of that person. So we have discussed the two important points. The state of disposition and mind is one has to take into consideration while dealing with such types of patient. That is the sentence which Hahnemann have explained in this aphorism. We have understood certain aspects. The mind is there, but you cannot find it out how the person is without the expression of it. The state of disposition is nothing but the expression of the mind as well as physics. It is his own, the individuality is expressed through it. And that's what we have to catch. That's what we have to perceive. The perception plays very vital role, and we have to understand what patient is expressing at that time. What is the nature of that person? Because that nature, which is expressed through this state of disposition, ultimately gives you exactly the individuality of that person. We have to understand that individuality. So the way patient performs in front of you is a very important thing. The way he enters, he comes and immediately he comes, enters in your clinic and he asks, "Doctor hai kya?" He asks whether there is doctor available. If the receptionist said yes, he says, "I want to meet." Then he enters in your clinic, in your cabin. You ask, "What's the problem?" He said, "I am having the diabetes since you asked since last 10 years. So what treatment is going on?" He says, "Nothing." Then why do you are here today? "No, I was just passing over here. I have seen your board and it has been written that you treat the diabetes, so that's why I entered." This is the nature. This is the state with which patient has presented. The patient has presented his nature through his aspect. That aspect is the patient's state of disposition. So, since 10 years, he is having the diabetes and he is not taking any treatment and he is not doing any reports and he's just passing away from your clinic and he enters in for the treatment. See the nature, what type of nature it is. What is the rubric? The rubric is very simple. Anyone? Open your repertories and find it out. There is one rubric. No, it is not careless. It is frivolous. It is frivolous. 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 The frivolous nature is nothing but he is not taking anything seriously. The person who doesn't have the seriousness about anything is a frivolous person. Such personalities always there. They never cares what will going to happen. So you come from the group of 3,000 remedies, coming to a very small group of remedies with the help of one entity, and that state is the patient state. That is the frivolous with which patient has approached. Then you ask, why do you are here today? He said, no, just for the treatment. I felt little bit, yes, I want to take the treatment, and that's why I'm here. Sometimes patient comes and sometimes he explains that, doctor, I'm having pain in abdomen. You ask, since how many days? The patient says, doctor, I'm having it since last 10 days. Then why do you come today? Then he says, doctor, till yesterday everything was going on. I think it will settle. So I never looked towards it. But today it is the time where I get very severe pain. And then I felt, yes, I must see the doctor. So what is the state which is hidden behind that? That is his state of his disposition, which, so see, the 10 days he was not taking the treatment, even though he is having pain in abdomen. And today he is there because 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 today he get aware that he must see the doctor because the pain is increased so much that he should see the doctor. So what is the state, which is the rubric which defines the state of his disposition and which directly a remedy? Which are two important rubrics which defines there? Anyone, any idea? Just write it in chat box.
Fear extravagance?
No, it is not fear extravagance. Fear extravagance, he would have come to you on day one. Day one. Fear extravagance is beyond limit. The fear is beyond limit. Patient, something little bit, something happens and he comes, doctor, what? He is afraid of big thing. He comes, let us see whether there is cancer. That is fear extravagance. Here the things are like that he is frivolous for 9 days and he was not conscious about his disorder. Unconsciousness interrupted by screaming. See the rubric, unconsciousness interrupted by screaming. Only single remedy you can see over there is the belladonna. Open the repertories and you find it out. And under the frivolous, again the belladonna. So you get the belladonna state directly. So he was not conscious regarding his disorder. He was, and today, because it is painful, so it starts screaming, and then he awares, yes, I must see the doctor. Unconsciousness interrupted by the screaming. Is it there? Have you seen? Yeah. Mind, unconsciousness interrupted by screaming. Only single remedy, belladonna. So you have to catch what the state of disposition with which patient enters to you. You have to understand what he is talking, the way he behaves, the way he expresses himself. All things matters a lot. There are many varieties of versions, and those you have to catch. That is what is called as perceiving the state of his disposition with which he has approached to you. Another patient who comes to your OPD, and when he enters in your clinic, he sits in front of you, and then you ask him, how do you come to me? He said, doctor, there was one patient who came to you and he felt better. So I thought I will also get the result with you, and I'm here. See, what is the state? Patient comes with this situation, he enters, doctor, I'm the so and so patient have treated and he felt better with your treatment. I also feel better and that's why I'm here. This is one version. Another version, if you ask the same question, doctor, that the one patient who came to you, he told me that you are very good and he sent me towards you. Two different versions. पहिला पेशंट म्हणतोय की डॉक्टर त्यांनी सांगितलं त्यांना तुमच्याकडून फरक पडला, मला वाटलं मलाही पडेल म्हणून मी आलो. आणि दुसरा पेशंट तुमच्याकडे ते पेशंट येतात ना, त्यांनी सांगितलं इकडे जा डॉक्टर चांगले आहेत म्हणून मी आलो. See, the state of disposition is different in these two sentences. In first sentence, it is the superstitious aspect. He felt better, so I also felt better. I also feel better. That is the superstitious aspect. With second, it is little bit different. What is it is? He said, you go to that fellow and I immediately come. Where he has not used his intelligence. Here, he just said whatever the next person said, he followed it immediately. In Marathi, what we call such types of person who used to do everything according to the others. मराठीत आपण काय म्हणतो? What do we call? आपण त्यांना भोळं म्हणतो. मग भोळं ह्या शब्दाला इंग्लिश मध्ये शब्द काय? What is the word which is there for the same word? Yes, it is credulous. Correct. It is credulous. But credulous rubric it is given in some repertories. Otherwise, there is a cross reference confiding. That is what is the cross reference confiding. So patient comes to you with a different situation, and that is what is his state of his disposition. So every sentence the patient utters during first few conversation is a state with which he has entered in your clinic. That's what you have to catch. The way he expresses is very important. The patient comes and he says, doctor, I went to that doctor and he has given me such and such remedy, and because of him, I'm suffering a lot. I felt it would be, if I would have not gone to that doctor, I would have not suffered so much. See, here he blames the other doctors. That is his state of his disposition. He blames that his problem, his suffering is because of the another person. Delusion wrong has suffered. That is the state of his disposition. Delusion wrong has suffered. If he says the same sentence in a different manner, doctor, I felt I have done wrong thing. If I would have not gone to that fellow, I would have not suffered a lot. It's my fault. Delusion wrong he has done. See, the states changes according to the sentences and according to the intensity of his sentence. You have to catch the state of his disposition. So here it changes from the delusion wrong has suffered to the delusion wrong he has done. So ultimately, the way patient presents is his state of disposition, and that is very clear, that belongs to that individual specifically. Hahnemann gives this is too important for you. There are many people, sir, you can observe that there are many people who comes to you and who says, doctor, I want to say you something. You ask, okay, tell me. Then he take a pause and then he says, okay, doctor, some other time. Not today, some other time. So what is the state of his disposition? Tell me the rubrics. Because these are the things with which patient presents to you. So what you will going to catch? Yes, this is common with females. There are two rubrics hidden in this. First rubric is naked wants to be, and second is height desire to. It is a combination of two rubrics, is the state of that person. He wants to get naked. Yes, doctor, I want to tell you something. And then he comes out, no, I will tell it later. I don't desire to. So see the state with which patient approaches. This is the nature of the person. This you have to catch. And to these Hahnemann labels, yes, this is state of his disposition and mind, which you have to take into consideration because that gives you an individuality. So individualization is very easy if you are able to perceive such types of states from the person. And that's why you must be very familiar with the all the rubrics of the mind chapter. If you get them and if you try to apply it in your patients, then it becomes simple task to find it out what exactly the patient wants to tell. There are some patients who comes, doctor, now I I am there with you and I have seen many doctors, but nothing has worked. And now I thought that it's you only. Yes, everything is on you only. Hereafter, I will not go to any other doctor. You treat me by any means. This is the way with which patient has presented to you. He explains, yes, that's all. You give me a treatment. That's all. Nothing. I will not do anything. So what he says, what is the state of his disposition?
Carried desire to be carried.
Yes, carried desires to be carried on shoulders. Very correct. Very correct. Carried desires to be carried on shoulder. Yes, very important. There are some people, doctor, I don't bother how much time you take. You told me 6 months. I feel even 2 years happens, it doesn't matter. But you treat me by any means. You treat me by any means. Then you ask, why do you say no, doctor? He says like that, no, doctor. Just because I'm have suffered so much, so I don't want to get affected. And he talks like this. So what is the state of his disposition? See, these are things which you have to catch. This is what is called as carried desires to be carried slowly. Only remedy pulsatility. And whatever question you ask, he answers, yes, doctor, no, doctor. Answering, nodding by, only remedy pulsatility. Answering, nodding by. There are, if you just learn that rubric of carried desires to be with its sub-rubrics, you will learn a lot. Many states are there. There is carried desires to be carried by mother only, carried desires to be carried by nurse. There are many rubrics are there, and which you have to catch. Carried desires to be carried fast is different. That is that, doctor, anything you do, but you clear me very fast. I'm suffering a lot. Fast, that is the fast. Carried desires to be carried fast is different, and carried desires to be carried slowly is different. So these are different states with which patients approaches to you. You have to catch. You have to catch the tone of the person. There are many. There are some patients who comes to you and they talk very loudly. Doctor, what has happened? That's how they go on doing blah blah blah, and they talk so loudly that the sound goes outside your cabin. It is so fast. It is so harsh. So that is their state. They talk in such sense. There is one rubric. What is the rubric which defines the state of that person? Noise inclined to make noise. That is the state of the person. Noise inclined to make. Okay. So every person presents in a different manner. That presentation you have to catch. You don't have to ask, how is your nature? No one will going to give exactly the nature of themselves. So it's not a question. Question of is of a perceiving. What you have perceived in the patient, and that the tone of conversation. Some patient comes and they talks like that's a काय आहे ना माझं खूप डोकं दुखत होतं. They talks in so mild tone. So it indicates their nature is mild, soft, gentle, very important. So you have to catch what the person is talking about. The person is there in front of you. He talks like this in a mild tone. And you asked, what is your problem? Kai, now I know that I am having cancer. So what do you do? No, I just lies down, keeps my eyes closed, and I'm lying down. Now I know that ultimately I have to die. Everyone have to die. So accept the thing. So this is too important. Here, the one important specific mildness is there, but with mildness he is explaining, recognizes everything and accepts it. That is the rubric. Cocculus is indicated over there. Cocculus is there in both rubrics. Mildness plus recognizes everything and but cannot move in catalepsy. Actual rubric is given Kent's repertory in like that. But Sehgal sir have changed that and made it very simple. Recognizes everything and accepts it. Cocculus indicus. And that state defines the cocculus. So you have to understand the patient's nature with the help of such a states and sentences. And those sentences gives you and defines you exactly the nature of the person. So you have to catch what the patient is talking, how the patient is talking, what sentences he utters, how he sits. So everything is very important from your point of view, because that is the individuality of that person and that guides you to find it out the right remedy. So many varieties with which patient approaches to you. There was one question, carried desires to be in crowd means. Crowd means what? Crop means pharyngeal secretions. It is the cup which is there because of the pharyngeal inflammation, pharynx inflammation. It is upper respiratory tract inflammation where the secretions are there, and that is crop. The cough is because of that. I think bromium is mentioned over there, and team tart and bromium, which are the remedies. Carried desires to be carried.
Yes, bromium.
Bromium
In
is
Kent repertory, single remedy bromium given.
bromium, yes, and bromium works. You find it out many. I have just treated one patient and I give the bromium, and the day it worked, he was so absolutely restless. I felt it he is chamomile, but he was not chamomile. I have used this rubric and I have given bromium, and it worked within a day. Cough also stopped and his irritability also stopped. So you have to catch, you have to watch and catch. That is more important. So now I think you have understood what exactly Hahnemann wants to explain about the state of his disposition. So today I have spent so much of time in explaining multiple examples so that you can catch what patient presents is his state of his disposition. Is it clear? The way patient utters the sentence is very important. What words are there, those are not important. The man behind the sentences is very important. The same sentences in a different tone has a different meaning, and that is the state of his disposition. If you ask, काय झालं तुला? काय झालं तुला? अरे काय झालं तुला? See the difference. Sentence is same, words are same, but man behind the sentence is different. In first, it is sympathetic. In second, it is a casual. In third, it is superiority. So you have to understand the state of disposition, how he is expressing those words. That gives you a man. Ultimately, you have to treat the man, and man is always behind the symptoms. And that's what is the state of his disposition. And that Hahnemann actually wants to explain over there. So today I have again spent a lot of time on this aphorism because this is too important. And if you grab this, then your work becomes simple. So today we'll stop over here. Tomorrow there will be a holiday. So I'll not be there in tomorrow's session. Day after tomorrow we'll meet. I think there is a problem with the Divine School also. So tomorrow there will be no session of Divine School also. We'll meet on Friday at 6 o'clock with this. And thank you everyone. Thank you Pallavi, Jyoti, Dr. Varke sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, any query? Any query?
Sir, hello.
Huh?
Hello, sir.
हा बोल किरण.
Hello.
हा बोल ऐकू येतंय.
हा सर, ते मगाशी बोलतो की तुम्ही त्याला बरं म्हणून मी आलो. तर
Yes. You want to understand what do you mean by impressionable? Impressionable. What is the meaning of impression? Very important is to understand the meaning of impression. Then you will understand the meaning of impressionable. The person who gets very easily influenced by the nature of another person is the impression. So you get, when you see the movies and you start behaving like that, that is the impression of the movie on you, and you get the rubric at that time of yours is impressionable. You get very easily influenced by it. That is impressionable. It is not it is not the thing which you have seen that fellow has said, and that's why there is directly copying the things is impressionable. Here it is not the copying. Here someone has said, yes, do that, and you have done that. This indicates that you have not thought. It is just someone said and you behave. That is credulous. You said, yes, just do, and the fellow never understands what he is saying, whether there is any purpose behind that, and he does it. That is the credulous. Impressionable is that you just observe someone, you get influenced over it, and you start following yourself in such a manner, then that becomes an impressionable. So impressionable, the person is influenced by many things. Patient talks like that. डॉक्टर माझ्यावर ना खूप गोष्टींचा प्रभाव आहे. माझ्यावर सगळ्यात जास्त प्रभाव पडला ना तो अमिताभ बच्चनचा. The person talks like that. That is impressionable. There are many people who comes with that. That is impressionable. Okay.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
we'll
you.
meet on Friday. Thanks a lot.